So I'm planning on doing a meet next week. Now, if you've been watching my training, you'll notice that I haven't really been prepping for a meet at all. And so I'm not looking to hit numbers or do anything like that. But I'm really concerned about the meet in Australia and having to cut weight with a shorter period of time than I'm able to in the past due to the length of the travel. So I'm going to take some changes to my weight cut strategy. And so next week I want to test that strategy and see how it affects my performance so that I'm not going into to Australia cold. And so I think that's a good plan and approach. So this week I'm seeing where my numbers are going to be at, just a bit of a mini deload this last week and a half into the meet, but certainly no lengthier prep like I've done in the past. So that's where we're at.
I always get people making comments about my non-legitimate butt raised benches, and I always point out, well, when I go to competition, it's not a problem. These are called training bench presses. But so you see this when I switch over, because I have a methodology for locking in the glutes that works. It just doesn't work very well for doing repetition work, and also causes some cramping when you do that. But the carryover is pretty much the same amount of leg drive, so what you see is the fact that I bench exactly the same when I switch to having my glutes locked down and no butt raise. So on all three of these I had a side spotter watching, see where we're at, and had no light under my butt on any of these. Given my huge rowing session on Saturday with the 405 for 23 reps and 20 reps, I wasn't expecting much for benching. So even though that last one was slow, I was quite pleased with that. Wednesday was a rough day for me. Got kind of smacked upside the head in my life, and I wouldn't have come in to train, but I figured, this is actually a good test to see where I should be at, because this is worst absolute conditions for me to train. You see how shaky I am on the way down there with 825. I did come in on Thursday, do my volume day like I normally do. A lot of high rep, 20 rep stuff, getting some blood flow, things of that nature. Wouldn't normally do that right before the meet, but again, my goal is not really performance at the meet, so I want to continue moving things as much as possible. And this is Saturday, kind of doing the same thing, getting in. I did much less on Saturday. Worked up to 405 for a few singles on the bench, see how that felt. And also mixing in some hanging. This is really to do some traction on my elbows via Ido Portol's method. It can be really good for the back, shoulder mobility stuff, but basically I found, I have no effect on that after using the shoulder rock stuff. I've got no issues in there, so really for me, just working on doing some traction. When I first started this, it was doing some aggravating the elbow a little bit, and I backed off, and now I'm back into it. So here's some single hand hang stuff, which is actually, I guess pretty decent for my body weight. But doing what I can there. This wraps up my training for the week. You'll be able to find my entire written training program on Elite FTS that accompanies this. And subscribe if you haven't done so already. Tell your friends about it. Tons of content, full training transparency and instructional videos. What more can you want? Lots of sharing.